How can you as an HR professional ace an exit interview? And why is it important? From an HR perspective, these questions and answers help their companies improve retention and reduce turnover. And from an employee's viewpoint, they pave the way for rehiring if they choose to rejoin the company in the future. So if you are an employee watching this, you got to get those exit interview questions right. We'll go through some of the vital employee exit interview questions and answers in this video. And hi, my name's Josh. I'm the founder of HR University, and I have over 6 years of HR experience. The questions that we'll go through will not only improve your HR wisdom, but will also prepare employees for a safe exit. Remember, it's crucial to leave a company on a positive note and not the other way around. But before we explore the topic further, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified of all future instructional videos from HR experts. Now let's go ahead and dive in. An exit interview is a conversation between you and your employer, likely a human resources representative. This is an opportunity to discuss job satisfaction or offer feedback on policy and direction. Let's see a real life example that may come to your head when thinking about an exit interview. Freddie was a marketing supervisor in an IT company, and for no apparent reason, he decided to leave his company in March. Well, he was called by HR for a final conversation or exit interview. After the usual meet and greet, they sat down for a one-on-one meeting. HR began, "Why are you leaving after spending more than 3 years in the company?" Freddie was prepared and replied, "It doesn't make me happy to leave this organization. I had a great time here, but I felt that it was time for me to explore new horizons." HR came with their second question. "What was your favorite part of working at our company?" Freddie replied, "I enjoyed the overall environment and work ethics of the company, plus a cooperative manager." After a couple more questions and answers, the interview ended. That's how HR is responsible for conducting an exit interview. Feel free to ask me questions that may arise as we go through this video and drop them in the comments below. Exit interviews are crucial for employees and organizations. In this way, an organization gets to know the reason behind an employee's departure, while the employee can exit the company on a good note. When you drive this conversation as an employee by preparing the exit interview questions and their answers, it means you'll be more comfortable exiting the company. This potentially increases your chances to get rehired in the future if you wish to rejoin. So that's why preparation for exit interview questions and answers is essential for everybody involved. Eventually, exit interviews become a platform to assist the overall employee experience within an organization. Furthermore, they identify opportunities to improve retention and engagement. Let's go ahead and look at some of the most important exit interview questions and their answers in the coming sections here. These questions are all intended to inform HR about what they need to do to decrease employee turnover. Make sure you answer them generally according to how it's mentioned in the list. HR professionals should start the interview with this question. Why are you considering a change? Why leave this company after 2, 5, or maybe 10 years? This is perhaps the most frequently asked exit interview question. It's also a very direct and upfront way about wanting to know the former employee's reasoning behind the decision. Answer truthfully and only explain what you have experienced personally. Try not to accuse anyone and give a diplomatic yet straightforward answer as well as constructive feedback. For example, you can tell the interviewer that you're leaving for a new job because of office politics and the impact they're having on your performance as well as your career outlook. These tips will help HR professionals create a friendly environment for the employees who remain. You want them to remember the company in good words. At least it has to be your intention. They must consider the following tips during exit interviews. To conduct a great exit interview, make sure to do the following. Conduct them in person. Make them one-on-one. Create a comfortable atmosphere and explain the purpose. And number 5 here is to be consistent. So make sure you do all these things. We just went through the number 1 interview question and some crucial tips to make sure you run the process smoothly. And now question 2, how would you rate your relationship with your direct boss or upper management? When this question is asked, the company is trying to gain valuable information to conduct a performance review of the management with regard to you. Here you should be impartial and state the facts as you experience them. For example, you can tell the interviewer that the manager is very knowledgeable, but you don't like their general management style and how they're always micromanaging. Number 3, what was your favorite part of working at our company? This is another important question, and this is where HR professionals are trying to find out what employees actually liked about the company in order to increase employee retention. Since this would probably be your last day, it's possible that you will only remember the bad and not the good. Don't target anyone because you never know what the future holds, and you might actually have to come back and ask for your job again. So a good answer would be just say that you like the weekly meetings, the general work environment, or simply that you could approach the managers at any time without booking an appointment. Question 4 here. What is the proudest moment you experienced while working at our company? This is a straightforward exit interview question, one that's a norm more than actually serving a purpose. The goal of this question is to give your HR some sort of leverage by highlighting the positive aspects of the organization. This might be used to attract you or future employees. For example, you can simply say that your proudest moment was when you helped a team member with a complicated task. Question 5. Was there anything lacking in the training that we provided you? This is more of an honest feedback question that human resources will ask you to gauge how interesting their investment in a training program is for employees. Be honest here, since there is not really any wrong answer. Just remember to back your answer up, whether it's a yes or a no. Additionally, make sure to provide reasoning so that it doesn't seem like you are trying to get the interview over with. For example, you can say that you really like the employee feedback that managers ask for at the end of each session, or the development opportunities that the training provided. Now let's take a look at our 6th question. What can we do to change your mind? This can either be the first or the last question of your interview and can determine whether it was an effective exit interview. This open-ended question is asked in a very honest manner, and how you answer will serve either as feedback or as an opportunity. Furthermore, know that this is where you have to get candid during the offboarding process. Answer as candidly as you can. For example, start by saying that you had a great time working there, but you need to move on to a more lucrative or advanced position. Plus, if it's only about the salary, just say so openly. At 7, we have, what would you say was the worst part of working at our company? The longer you've been at a company, the more bad parts you'll be able to identify. Having said that, you don't need to create a long list of negative employee experiences. And if you suggest that there was no worst part, you'd be lying again. Try to paint a truthful picture of the issue, but don't badmouth anyone. For example, tell them that you didn't enjoy the communication process at first, but eventually got used to it. Try to formulate it like feedback. And number 8, did you find achieving your goals and objectives easy? The goal of this exit interview question is, again, to determine if you're leaving because of your leader or your manager. If you received clear goals and objectives but weren't able to reach them and your manager didn't adjust them accordingly, call it out, but in a diplomatic manner. For example, tell them that your manager was quite helpful in helping you achieve the goals and objectives set forth, but the process of accomplishing said goals meant having to sacrifice your work-life balance. Now we have question number 9. What are your thoughts on company culture? This question is targeted at exiting employees to get their feedback on floor conditions and how the company deals with employees in general. Here you should highlight the good as much as possible. If the negative aspect is too strong, it is best to try and sugarcoat it. Even more so if there are any chances you'll have to return to the organization. Do not burn all bridges. Only mention the bad if it's something that simply can't be ignored. Question 10. Is there anything that we are doing but shouldn't do? Any policy that would be better off crossed out? The answer here can vary wildly. When this question is asked, you can answer based on personal preference, but remember to highlight the fact that this is your personal experience. Answer for yourself and yourself only. The goal should be to make the company a better place to work for other employees and people who they will onboard next. But again, don't go naming names. For example, don't say that your manager has a strict off-work policy that should be changed. Just mention the issue on a broader level. You can point out that the company should consider giving employees a bit more leeway when they take their PTOs. Question 11, did you feel you were well compensated and recognized for your efforts at our company? Almost 52% of employees in the US leave their jobs because they want a higher paying job. Everyone wants to be adequately recognized for the work that they do. If you think the company does a good job at employee engagement, a one-word answer should be enough. So just say yes. If not, answer diplomatically. For example, say no and continue explaining how it could be improved and where it lacks. Only talk about yourself. If you aren't satisfied with your compensation, now's the time to talk about it. Number 12, what would you suggest to us if we were to improve? Here you can say anything you like, except of course telling them that there's no way they can get better. So don't burn your bridges. Take any negative aspect of the company, from the onboarding experience and or the culture to the overall work environment, or even benefits policies. And this is where you can list it out and present everything to the company that it does wrong. But make sure to provide in a constructive way and provide constructive advice about how they can improve. If there is something that they can do to convince you to possibly stay, talk about that as well. Number 13, what prompted you to look for a different job in the first place? This is another standard exit interview question that tells companies what's lacking in their position management skills. Remember, this is one of the few questions that will reflect on you just as it would on the company. It's completely natural to look for better opportunities, so you aren't doing anything wrong here. But again, try not to burn any bridges during this or any of the follow-up questions. For example, if there was a particular event that happened, just mention it without going into your personal account of the matter. However, if it is a personal event and you don't want to share, you can simply say that there are personal reasons. HR professionals usually don't prod beyond that statement. Number 14, do you have any observation to share about your onboarding process? This is where employers try to find out how well they're accommodating their new hires and employees in the workplace. Whatever you say will be taken as feedback, so be very clear and detailed in your answer. If they made you fill out an excessive number of forms, mention that. If you love the interactive and group training sessions, then mention that. Even if it's something as small as being impressed by the office building and facilities, it will go a long way towards helping you build rapport with the employer. 15, who in your opinion is the best person in the office? Whoever you name here, you'll be helping them build a lasting relationship with the organization. You don't necessarily have to name a senior or an executive, not even your own manager. Just name the person who had the most positive impact on your performance and your disposition as an employee. For example, you can mention a coworker who encouraged you to take creative and calculated risks and come up with out-of-the-box ideas. Or someone who listened to your ideas and actually created preliminary plans out of them to test their effectiveness. And there we have it. We have finished discussing the 15 most important exit interview questions. Thank you for watching this video. Again, my name is Josh. I'm the founder of HR University, and I wish you the best of success in your HR career. If you're an HR professional, if you're an employee about to go into an exit interview process, then I wish you the best of success in answering those questions to keep that great relationship with your company. So in case anything happens, you'll still be able to rely on them, whether that's for reemployment or just keeping great connections there. And again, I'll see you on some of our following videos where you'll learn all about HR. Cheers.